Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to see if I can create a really easy swipe it on kind of mostly stick makeup routine that I really enjoy because I think the application of stick makeup can be so easy, so foolproof. You're not having to like pump out product, get it on your hands or whatever. It's just, swipe it on your face and blend it in. And I'm going to see if I can get behind that and enjoy that and create a look today that I'm really going to be content with all day, that hopefully is just super quick because sticks have been the main product used. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to use my Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Tint Stick, and I do already have all my skincare on, but I have this in the shade 05 and I've really enjoyed this. It has a little extra cap that you want to continue to use because it has a really great texture that I think they're trying to help you preserve by telling you, hey, keep that extra cap on because it's so smooth. It goes on almost feeling like it's melting down a little bit the way the Fenty does. But I would say it's maybe a little less hydrating, glowy compared to that one. But I've worn this one a lot. I've really enjoyed it. And I shut my finger, actually a couple of my fingers, in the door yesterday as I was trying to come in the door from the garage. I was like holding a big tub with this hand and trying to just fling the door shut behind me with this. And my fingertips got in the door. I yelped so loud. I scared the cats. But I'm just using this e.l.f. buffing foundation brush here. You could use a sponge too, but very easy to blend this in. To me, this foundation feels like a solid medium coverage. Really does a good job evening things out. I feel like that shade is very appropriate for me. So yeah, that's great. I'll blend it out there. Then I'm going to use this little stick from NYX. It's the Pro Fix stick in the pink shade. This can be super brightening. You guys know I have several different correctors that I like, but this is one of them. It works very well, very brightening. The stick format, again, I think makes it real easy. I'm going to use my little Sephora 71 brush and just kind of work this around. Anyone else really dealing with allergies right now? For the longest time, I never thought I was a seasonal allergy person, but I tell you what, I really think I'm feeling it this spring, big time. See how brightening that can be around your eye area? For some reason, I put it in between the brows as well. But they make those sticks in a bunch of skin tone shades too, but there's just something about that brightening pink. It's almost like putting the e.l.f. Putty color correcting brightener in a stick format, but it's just never going to be quite as creamy as that product is coming from the stick. But this one from NYX is still good. Still does a nice job. And then I pulled out my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer, and it has the little hyaluronic acid hydrating core. I need to get a new one because it seems like mine is, I don't know. A little gap has formed between the hydrating core and the product, but it still feels really smooth. So I'm going to keep going with it. I have it in the shade Fair. So I'm just going to swipe that around the larger planes of my face. Again, swiping, so easy. And then I'm patting over it with that 71 brush. I may go in with my larger blender in a second. That e.l.f. buffing foundation, just pressing in. I'm liking the way these creams are working together. I'm able to layer a really creamy concealer. This one's very creamy, very not your standard like old school stick concealer. Really has a nice glide on the skin and adds a little moisture. And I'm liking how I can put that on top of the NYX and it doesn't look too heavy. Okay, I think I'm going to continue on with my other cream face step before I do any setting powder. And this is really my favorite when it comes to drugstore bronzer, contour, and the cream blush as well. Physicians Formula is doing such a good job with this Butter Glow and Go stick. I have the tan and berry. This stick really can hang, I think, with the higher end products that are out. And it has kind of a perfect tone for me. I feel like it's a little bronzy, but yet it's not too orangey at all. And I'm just going to put that on all my zones and blend that in with my Sephora 56 brush. A 56 brush, by the way, could work for so many of these steps. It could blend foundation, it could blend concealer, it could continue through the whole routine. I don't really like to double up quite that much, but in a pinch, yeah, it could handle pretty much all of these face steps. See how easy that was to blend? Like no work. I'm just kind of buffing and pressing. smelling that butter bronzer smell, but I'm only going to smell it during the application, really. Really nice tone. You could even work it up a little higher if you wanted to, because it is kind of bronzy as well. And I am going to do a full video chatting about bronzers very soon. That was by request. And then contour this little part of the jawline, and I feel like that's kind of flattering usually. I feel like every time I'm on here, I'm talking about the fact that we're going to have severe weather. We had weather over the weekend. Belle had her cheer showcase just in town here at the high school, but storms were forecast during that time. Fortunately, that one did not pan out for our immediate area to be as bad as it could have been. And then we're due for some weather on Wednesday, severe weather, and then possibly some historic flooding. I mean, spring, y'all, spring. It couldn't be prettier outside. All these flowering, like blossoming trees. They're looking straight up purple and orchid. I'm like, oh, so pretty. Things are starting to leaf out. I'm into it. Just no more severe weather, please. This is the berry side of this stick, and these are just creamy. You're not gonna notice shimmer in here, but you're gonna swipe that on. Like it right in that zone. And there is just kind of a nice balmy feel with these. They're creamy. They're not gonna overwhelm you, but I feel plenty of color and pigment coming out of them. And of course, there are different tones you could choose from. And I haven't set my skin with any powder yet, but I'm going to. I think I got my blush where I want it now. Looks good. And all we've put on so far is this little family of sticks, that little handful. But I'm going to use some setting powder. I want to use my Essence Flawless Skin Trio because it has this pinky tone in it. I've been using my Wet n Wild Light Pink or Soft Pink powder so much. I want to throw this into my mix. Just thinking about the pinky powders and what's working best. This actually has like a peach, a lavender, and a pink all in one. I think I just inhaled some, but your sifter can help you isolate one shade if you want to. I just kind of tap them all into my cap and then dab in so I'm getting some of everything. And this powder has been really good. That's kind of why I'm thinking about it alongside the Wet n Wild. Like, this is good. It doesn't look too heavy, and it is paired really well with even an Essence concealer that I didn't think I was that wild about, but had good, fresh staying power all day. So I am hitting T-zone with this. This is a little bit out of order for my normal application. Like I would typically do powder right after my concealer, but I feel like those sticks all just swipe on so well, just one after the next. And I don't have a lot of excess here, but I'm gonna use my Morphe under eye bullet brush just to go around, and that's about it. That powder does look really good. It doesn't like add additional coverage as some powders do. I feel like it remains pretty invisible. Next up, we're going to do brows, which, you know, almost always ends up starting with a stick. If you're into pencils, call that a stick, right? This is the e.l.f. Instant Lift waterproof version. This is in neutral brown, so I'm going to use the little spoolie end just to brush up a bit. I haven't used this one in a while, so I thought, hey, today's the day. It's going to be a little thicker than Brow Wiz, okay? But not one of those ultra large, like, teardrop shaped designs. So I tend to get along fine with this, and just the regular Instant Lift is really good, really affordable. But the waterproof, what you'll notice about this is it practically feels like it's a pomade going through your brow hairs, which is really weird coming from a stick, but like it holds and it really transfers some product down. So I've got that in there, and then I can use my little brush. And you hardly feel like you need to set that with anything. Like you still can, but you can tell something's holding in there. I think I'm content with the fill-in. Sometimes it helps to go back in with the brush a little bit just to make sure. I truly do feel like the brow gel is optional after that. Next up, I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow primer, and then we're gonna try to do just a very low maintenance swipe it on stick eye routine. I don't know, guys. That's not my comfort zone, but I'm gonna try because I feel like if I could just settle into a really good shade that would work really well for all over the lid and up into the crease, I could be happy. And then use like a little deeper shade as lazy liner. That's my idea. So I have this shade from the L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick line. It's called Alluring Rose, and it seems like it has less shimmer compared to some of the others. It's a nice mid-tone, and I'd have to say maybe it's a little bit satiny. And I'm just gonna see if I can try swiping this on. Okay, maybe it seems lighter than I was thinking, but I'm trying like swiping on my lid and maybe into my crease a little. It might need to be a little deeper to really do what I was hoping it would do. Like, because this looks like it's straight up neutralizing my eyelid, which is fine. It was just when I swatched it on my hand, I thought I made it look darker. That's weird. But that's okay. Like, if that's all you wanted out of your shadow stick was to pretty much take away your little look of veins and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough to make contrast in my crease, is it? And I don't want to load on too much to find out. Okay, maybe it's giving me a little. You seeing that? Once these lay down, they do eventually want to set, so you kind of have to take care of your blending upon application. Taking magnetic bronze, and I'm kind of deepening up the outer corner. So this is not my darkest color. This is not Brown Abyss. I'm just seeing if I can put something on the outside that's gonna be darker than the first shade by a little bit. For me, it's a process of putting it on and then like dabbing away any excess / immediately trying to make it look a little bit blended. Then Brown Abyss coming in. And this maybe could have done that last step too, but this is kind of sticking along the lash line, being really creamy and easy, and providing that depth. I'm kind of thickening that line toward the outside just a little bit. And then the magnetic bronze, that was that medium color, the second one I put on, letting that come down below. Softly defined, I mean, the Alluring Rose, I do think it's able to neutralize darkness. Like, that really amounts to a skin tone looking color on me. And that can in itself make your look more finished. So I'm cool with that being part of things. I'm going to put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, I've got my mascara on and I'm feeling all right about the eye look actually. We neutralized, we gave some soft definition. I feel like I just can't get too creasy with it the way I would with powder shadow, really defining the crease and adding depth there. It's hard to do that with a stick. So this is the kind of look we come out with and I'm fine there. And then I'm going to swipe on a real easy lip color. This is Catrice Karen Colors Lip Balm and the shade is called Hot Take. So I like this formula. It's really comfy and scent wise, there's like hardly any scent you can get from these. So if you're sensitive to that, this is a really pretty kind of slightly brighter shade, sort of a pinky red. But a really comfortable balm if you've been dealing with dry lips or anything. Like, I think that's cute and fun. No shimmer in it, just the straight color, and I like that. And then one thing I'm gonna do, which you probably know I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna add a little bit of blush on top of my look. I feel good about the coverage and everything, but I just want a little more color. When it's all said and done, sometimes that's necessary. I'm going into Pinch Me Pink from Wet n Wild. This has a little shimmer in it too. And I'm just gonna top off my blush there. And it's not to say that the Physicians Formula couldn't do more. Like, I could have applied more at the get-go and then maybe just been happy with the way the blush turned out. But sometimes by the time, you know, your lip and eye get done, that's when you really realize you want more blush. But as far as this look goes, outside of mascara and like my setting powder, this really was a stick makeup routine and I'm very pleased with it, particularly among the coverage products. I'm enjoying my Milani stick a lot. It's good to see that the Pro Fix stick from NYX can layer under another concealer and those two can do well together also. This Hydro Boost stick, I maybe could have put on a little more of it because it's just not going to execute in the same way like Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear will or your fuller coverage liquid concealers. I feel like those give a little more than this ended up giving. But that's okay, that's probably part of what made it work on alongside this was that it was a little lighter. But I can just see some areas where I could have built that a bit more and probably still been fine with that Neutrogena. This stick is great, a great little combo product, 2-in-1. And then we did our powder, which like I said, this Essence powder, I gotta give it up for that stuff. It's very undetectable, but there's something I kind of like about how the Wet n Wild adds just a little more coverage to the look too. I like to see that. The L'Oreal Lace Shadow Sticks, I know I love this formula. It's just I'm most likely to use them like liners rather than for the full shadow look. And I know my look is gonna last. It turned out very natural. You probably could draw one of these into your crease and really deepen it up, but I wanted it to stay something easy, manageable. The key with this look was not to stress me out more, but I like the way that came together. My eye is defined, but yet if you look up close, it's not like there's a harsh ring around my eye. That's just a little bit of the magnetic bronze shade on the bottom. So I can get along with that, and then an easy stick on the lips that's giving me moisture, giving me a beautiful amount of color. This line from Catrice is really good. Now, it's not going to be like crazy long wear, but there are some really nice colors. There's a good deep berry in that range as as well, and then some lighter, more natural things. But yeah, that's my just swipe it on makeup routine. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And by the way, I think this did end up being all drugstore, and that wasn't really intentional. It's just the products I'm kind of gravitating towards. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.